Hello, everyone watching this. This is the Silent Podcast. I am Isaiah, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Lance
What's goody?
and Sabrina.
Hi.
And we are back with the Total Drama Island rewatch, for me at least. This is Lance and Sabrina's first times again. We are here to talk about episodes 5 and 6. Before we get started, initial thoughts, guys. How are you feeling so far? You're 6 episodes deep. How are you feeling about the show?
I feel like after the first episode, I wasn't totally sure if I'd really like it or not, like, not gonna lie. But after like 3 and 4 and talking about it, and then just watching 5 and 6 now, I like it a whole lot more than I thought I would. And I feel like these last 2 episodes, I thought 3 and 4 were gonna be like the best for a while, but like 5 and 6 were also really good. so loving it so far.
Yeah, kind of like Sab say, like when I watched the first episode, I'm like, I'm not really a cartoon guy, but I love reality TV. But as I've been we're 3 weeks in now, 2 episodes a week, 3 weeks in, I'm invested, and it takes everything out of me every single week not to go and keep going and keep going and keep going, because I know there's definitely going to be a series that I want to catch up on and can't wait to see what the future of Total Drama is all about. So I can't wait.
I know.
Awesome. Before we get started, I just want to say we're going through a lot of changes and expansions and everything with Silent Podcast. So if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be completely very appreciative. We'd be very appreciative over here. Every little bit helps. So thank you for the support that everyone's been giving, and we're just going to continue doing what we do. But as I said, let's get started to this episode. So episode 5, this was Not Quite Famous. This is an interesting episode. Is it infamous? No, but it kind of sparks a little bit of rivalries here with a few characters. But let's start from the beginning. So Chris is waking everybody up, and honestly, this episode you're going to see how we already know Gwen doesn't like people, but she really shows how much he hates being there this episode. We find out that the challenge this episode is a talent show. It's pretty straightforward. Chef is the only judge, and he will rank everyone's talents, and if he gives you whoever team has the highest scores out of the 3 acts that they show will win the challenge, and the losing team will be going to try the elimination ceremony. How did you guys think about this challenge? What did you think about it?
I thought it was so fun. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of things came to fruition with this episode and with the challenge. Like in the very beginning, the title sequence, how Beth is doing the fire twirling, and I was like, oh, then she's doing it now. That's her talent. I didn't know that was gonna come back into it. So I thought that was fun. And then I feel like we got a lot more from Bridget too, because I know we had talked about her recently being she's gonna come out, she's gonna start being more of a presence in the show, and now she finally is. She's coming out into her own, which is cool. So see that side of her was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I feel like this was going to be an episode that pretty much highlights some people that we haven't saw too much of. I think this would be the episode where people's talents are show, and we'd be like, oh, this is what you have, this is what you bring. And I agree, it definitely showcased a lot in this episode. People that I was sleeping on are slowly coming to fruition, and I might be eating some words.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling that way too. I was like, oh man, because we were talking crap about some of these people, and now they're like, oh, they're kind of fun. I remember last episode, we're like, oh, Izzy said 0 words, and then I love how she was so funny when she was just like, I'm doing my snake dance, and she was. I thought that was fun.
So, actually, because we can talk about this. Well, before I even get into that, there was just the smallest important thing that happened before they started the challenge was, I guess you could see Lindsay and Tyler are kind of being a little bit more openly flirty in front of people now. So, that was interesting. Heather is completely anti this, but she still does it. But we can talk about the tryouts for both teams. We can start with the killer bads if you guys want to. What did you think about the rejected talent, not the accepted ones, the rejected ones?
So what was it, the yo-yo by Tyler? I was like, again, showing that he's not very athletic, even with yo-yo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love how they didn't even let Harold open his mouth. There's nope, done, goodbye. And then what was the dance? Katie and Sadie dancing.
Were the dancing, and then Bridget was the handstands, I think,
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
came back later.
Yes.
So I mean, and apparently Duncan's was he can carve like a skull into a tree or whatever. We never saw that.
Oh yeah, we didn't see it though. Yeah.
But we saw that at this time, at least, the accepted ones was Courtney's violin playing, DJ with his ribbon, and then Jeff had his skateboard move. So I mean, you know,
pretty solid.
Cool. Yeah,
I honestly feel that some of the rejected talents could have took precedence to some of the accepted talents. Like, let's be real, Jeff with the G. We don't want to see you skateboard. So I would have dealt with Sadie and Katie dancing a little bit. I would have dealt with some of the other stuff rather than seeing you skateboard. And yeah, that was my thought. The whole thing.
But yeah, in hindsight, not so much.
Yeah, and it really makes me laugh, and I just continue to add to this precedent about DJ Marshmallow Muscles. He never to amaze me with the different things.
Immediately, like you were like, oh, he's gonna be exactly this way, and he still has been this way, like little soft, little ribbons.
I can't believe it.
I'm so mad that like DJ Marshmallow Muscles and Jeff with the G are like their epithets now. But I mean, it fits. Like, you know, hey, whatever. Then the other team. So what? I don't think Cody really had anything. Like, no, it was Beth's fire twirling, like you said. And she skipped the catching class or something. It was Izzy's snake dance. Gwen didn't do anything. Lashana didn't do anything. A lot of people didn't even try. I mean, Owen had the burping alphabet thing.
Oh my god, that was great.
It didn't get accepted, but the guys seemed to like it.
Yeah, all the guys were like, yeah, and then they didn't do it.
But the ones that did get accepted was Heather's ballet dancing, Trent's guitar playing, and there was one more. What was the last one? Justin. Yeah, Justin with his
Mike.
yeah, just being attractive. So I mean, what do you guys think about their approach to it? Do you think they should have took Owens, or do you think that they picked the right three?
Once again, they picked the wrong ones. Like, Owen Burton for me would have gave me 10s, 10s, 10s across the board. Like, I know Justin is very attractive, but would he really, like...
He can do nothing.
Is that really a talent? Chef don't want to see that. Or does he? Like...
Like, congratulations, your parents blessed you with good genes. That's not a talent.
Right.
I was actually off guard by Heather being a ballerina. I did not expect that.
Honestly, she kind of gives it as like the mean girl that was like, her parent has put her in every single thing. Next week, we're going to see that she was a gymnastics star. And the week after that, we're going to see that she played basketball, maybe even football, maybe tennis. We'll see that she done everything under the sun. Heather gave me that. But like, honestly, I was excited to see her dance.
Yeah, something different, yeah.
Now, before we got usually they just go straight into the challenge, but this episode is a little different. We got to see a lot of the stuff going on in between it. So one thing, I mean, we didn't get much of Cody. I know you guys aren't the biggest Cody fans, but this time we saw he was sniffing Gwen's hair and like following her and stuff. So I mean, all right.
You know, that one kid, it's not even like an exaggeration. There's always that one kid, and it's just like, oh man, like I mean, of course you feel bad for him because Gwen wants something to do with him, but
me personally, I don't feel bad for Cody. Cody is still bottom tier for me.
No, completely.
I didn't feel bad for him. But it just made him be even more weird. And Gwen already doesn't like people, so you doing that is not making it no better.
Oh, totally.
But I'm happy we get a little more character development out of Cody.
Yes, I think that's what I more appreciated is like that we got to like, yes, he's still weird. We got to like know him a little bit more, and like now I'm like I remember him a little bit more. Previous episodes, but I was mostly shocked by Tyler and Lindsay like make it out in the bathroom. Like, what? I was like, this is a children's show. What's happening here?
Yeah, they kind of just like it went from being like a secretive flirty thing to like they're just like all over each other now.
those young hormones are going. But I also with this episode, I feel like we are starting to see slightly rebellious Lindsay. Not like super rebellious, but kind of like, okay, you didn't told me enough, and obviously I'm following my heart, and this is what I like. She's
Yeah.
still very much of a follower, but
Mhm.
we're seeing a little bit a different side of Lindsay.
Mhm.
For sure. No, I agree with that. Not as just like, like follower, like just being like ditzy
Mhm.
and whatever. Now she's just like, I'm just gonna do what I want.
Now, with that, I think as we're seeing this growth of Lindsay as a character, we're actually seeing Heather taking a really big commanding spot. Like, I mean, she's honestly just like telling everybody what to do now on her team, but specifically Beth and Lindsay are just following her, doing what she says no matter what.
Mhm.
And what Heather does is makes Lindsay spy on Gwen like the entire day and see what she's up to. And she sees that Gwen has a diary. So what she does is when she leaves it to hang out with Trent, she tells Lindsay to do stakeout, watch for her, and Gwen. We'll get to it, but Gwen's already annoyed because she got wet from a cannonball and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, Gwen just hates people right now. Trent's the only one that doesn't get on her nerves.
So,
But Heather finds her diary, and we'll talk about what she does with it later. But we see a lot of Heather, just like she started. I mean, she's a strategic player, but her methods are very chaotic. So, I mean, what do you think of this move from Heather?
Yeah, because we kind of seen it in the past where she does whatever it takes to win the challenge. From when she had stole Eva's MP3 player and act nonchalant about it. Now she's doing what she has to do to win once again. So that's showing that she will stop at nothing to get the dub. So that's always good television, good TV to watch, good character development. But I feel like eventually that's gonna catch up with her. That people's gonna think she's just this grimy, dirty, stop at
yeah.
nothing. Like if you're gonna do it to them, you'll probably do it to me next.
Yeah, I see her as like kind of escalating a little bit because whenever she did the MP3 thing, she was pretty sneaky about it and she played it really smart. And now she's just overtly like looking at somebody's diary and like going to share it with everybody, like not even like pretend like, oh, I dropped this here, like, oh, hey, like what's that over there? Like she's just straight up like, hey, I
Yeah.
have this thing, like let's go for it. And it's just like you're just blowing up your game, really.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see people who don't. I mean, like I said, we'll get to it later, but like people, even like on the other team who didn't have an issue with her initially, now they're like, oh, she's not a good person. So, that's interesting why she decided to do that. The last thing I will say about this team before we go to the other one is that we're starting to see a growth between Gwen and Trent. They're bonding a lot. Do you think that this is like, does this mean anything? Like, is this good, bad? What's up? Thoughts? Do you guys like the pairing? Like, I don't know.
I love it. I hope they get together. I really, really like Gwen a lot. Like she's probably one of my favorite people. And so to see her happy is great. But Trent seems actually pretty cool too. So hopefully they can figure it out. But like hopefully it helps their game though and doesn't hurt it in the long run, which it totally could.
Yeah, for me, I really love seeing this budding romance continue to like blossom. We done seen bits and pieces of it as we've been watching, but seeing it like really honed down and see how like interested Trent is into Gwen, and she's still trying to play coy, but at the same time, like is really into him, as we'll like learn a little bit more about it in the episode. And it's just good, like you say, Gwen hates everyone, and if for someone to even be able to put a smile on her face. I'm here for it.
Right. Now with the other team, we see everyone's kind of like practicing, getting ready for the talent show or playing cards or something. And they make a bet with Bridget that she can't do a handstand for like 20 minutes, like she says. They all bet money. I mean, I don't know where they're getting this money from.
Exactly. What's the money like? The dollar bills on there. I was like, what is going on?
But, I mean, hey, all right, like go for it. She does a handstand. Her foot gets caught on to I guess like one of the stage lights or whatever. And while Courtney's practicing her violin, the light hits her and her violin. So basically she's out for the challenge. She she has a head injury. She can't use her violin because it's destroyed, and now Bridget has to take her spot for the challenge. Thoughts on Bridget's little accident?
I feel so bad for Courtney. Like, what's up with her always getting hurt? And like, because she had like the bug thing, and then she's wearing her chicken hat, and then now she's got her head injury, and she's just like getting messed up all the time. I'm like, no. And then her poor violin. Like, I have never played a musical instrument before. I'm not musically inclined in that way, but from what I've been told, those instruments are extremely expensive. So that's like literally the first thing I thought of was like how much money I'm sure it would cost to replace her violin. And so I understand her like being really upset about it. I don't know why that was the first thing I thought of when it broke. I was like, no, not the money.
Yeah, like for me, y'all know what Courtney is one of my faves. And to see her being a little more cool, calm, collected this episode, and then things just go left for her. Like, we didn't see her really trying to take a commanding role. We just saw her being a team player. We just saw her ready to just showcase her talent, which would have been, I think, a really good talent because she really is, has a violin and took real serious, lessons. That would have probably got him a good, like, 8 stars for the challenge. But for that to, for Bridget, who we also haven't seen too much of a lot, for that to happen and be klutzy also could put a bad rep on her where like people be against her for, possibly causing her team to challenge. It was good to see, but I like definitely like Sap say, like felt so bad for Courtney. So I hope that we get to see, if this pays off for Bridget, if this will show Bridget glory moment, like stepping in for him and winning the challenge for her team. Let's see.
So, like you said, let's see. So, I mean, we could just run through the talents real quick because I mean, like we said, we spoke about it earlier. So we see the Killer Bass and the Gophers are going to do the talent show. We're going to see Chef judging everything. Justin goes and he just does his little modeling thing, and actually he like almost got like full points. Like he was 3 points off from getting like full score.
Yeah,
so I guess Chef liked it. Even Owen was like, I want to kiss Justin. And he's like, oh yeah, wait.
Like, Hawk has 2 syllables, Justin. And I was like, okay.
Owen's great.
And that also shows like Owen still like even when he's not the star of an episode, small little things stand out for him and show why people cheer for him,
Yes, totally.
So DJ completely flops. Unfortunately, I don't know what went wrong, but he
started off so good. He was in his little outfit, his little ribbon, and then like one wrong turn got it all caught up, and he just like flatlined. But he needed to learn how to like take those like that stumble, and like if he would have recovered, that would have been like funny to me, and I would have given him more points if I was Chef. He needed to continue. Like, don't let that one little mess up F you over.
Right. But he's a sensitive guy, so maybe he did.
Marshmallow muscle. So before Bridget before Bridget went, Trent went, and Trent actually did very good as well. It was like doing a love song to Gwen or whatever, so Bridget goes, and before she even goes on the stage, we see her eating a lot this episode, like a lot of junk food. And Heather's like coming at her for eating all this junk food and all that. She throws it at her. Okay, fine. Bridget goes on stage and does her handstand thing. Like, she really should stop doing this because this is like the second time she's messed up. She has an upset stomach and she starts throwing up everywhere. And then everyone else starts throwing up. It gets really bad. What's your opinion, Sal? Like,
whenever she started burping, I was like, oh, that's gonna be the gag. She's just gonna be burping, like whatever. But as soon as she started projectile vomiting, I literally just sat there with my mouth wide open for that entire scene. I was just like, oh my god. And whatever was it, Katie started puking, and oh my god.
Yeah, see, I definitely would have been like Katie. Like when people throw up around me, I like start gagging myself. So that would have been me. We would have just had throw up everywhere. But like I say, Bridget is definitely stepping it up. It's not stepping up in a good way, but She's definitely shining, and it definitely had us laughing. It was freaking disgusting. And
Yes.
honestly, just for being able to projectile vomit while doing a handstand, I would have gave her 10.
Right? And she got like okay points.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget Lindsay, because she throws up on Ty. Lindsay's like, throw up on your own boyfriend. They're like,
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
what?
Like, what?
So we get to the last act, right? And it looks like that the Bass are just going to start losing again, honestly. Like Harold bailed them out the last challenge when they should have lost, honestly. And we get to here, and Jeff is supposed to go last, and he breaks a skateboard. Okay. And they need a replacement, and they just throw Harold on the stage. They don't even know what he's going to do because they didn't let him go earlier. And he does this memorable beatbox that everybody loves.
Wait. Before the beatbox, did we talk about Miss Heather?
Oh, yeah. Go. Oh,
cannot forget about that.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I don't know why I forgot about that. Heather, so this is the diary situation. So she, instead of doing the ballet, which she probably could have got some decent points for,
exactly.
Basically throwing a challenge, honestly. She takes the diary and she reads her Gwen's entry about basically how much she likes Trent, and everyone just like, wait, ooh, like this is not a good look. Like this was like messed up. This is screwed. And even Chris is like, that's kind of messed up. But like, you know, Chris loves this stuff. He's like, ratings. Okay. So Lance, what do you think about this move from Heather?
Yeah, for me, it was definitely a shot below the belt. But as a viewer, I love hearing Gwen's like thought process because we get super stern Gwen, but to know like we kind of know she like Trent, but to like hear it all come out was amazing. Heather is also showing that she will stop at nothing to get a win, but it really wasn't a win. So to me, I think it could backfire on her where people just be very like distasteful for her. And if that ultimately causes her team to lose, maybe people will be like, well, you need to go, even though she already has Lindsay and Beth's vote. Maybe that'll be a reason why people will vote her off just because of the fact of, hey, if you would have did your damn ballet, if you would have just did 2 jumps and a leap, you could have got maybe 8 points, and all we needed was a few points to win.
Yeah, honestly, like even with Bridget's like bad like performance, if she just did it, they probably would have still won. Even though Harold knocked it out of the park, they still would have probably won. And I don't know what Heather's idea was. Like, I think she kind of like lost the player side of it, and she just got very personal. But you know, so you know that was Heather. And I mean, I'm not going to repeat it, but you know, Harold does his beatbox, saves a team for the second time, even though people like on him. He saves them for the second time and gets full points. And Harold wins the challenge for his team. And honestly, Cartoon Network used to do this thing where like they would use the most memorable moments from the show and make them into flash games. And this was like one of them. They had like a rhythm like repeater thing, and it was Harold's beatbox and stuff. That was funny.
That's funny. I don't know. He teamed kind of like a loop pedal. Like they were just pressing the loop pedal at the entire. That's what he sounded like.
Honestly, Harold did amazing for me. Like to think in the beginning of the season, I was writing him off. He has definitely showcased that he is a star. He's 2 episodes back to back where he won it for his team. He's stepping up. We've been learning like little small things about him, from him peeing his pants, et cetera, et cetera. Like he's definitely like rising in the ranks, and he's shining. He's
doing a lot better.
All right. Now, we kind of jump straight to tribal, but we get confessionals beforehand. And basically Heather, she's like I said, like realistically, I think Heather should have been voted out here. But one, she had an alliance with Beth and Lindsay. Izzy is irrational, and Owen, she literally gave a slice of cake and he will vote with her. So
that's so great when I was like, Owen, piece of cake, and he's literally sitting there eating a piece of cake. I loved that.
Like, and it's interesting because even Chris said like he usually doesn't give his input, but he said, Justin, like I think it's kind of messed up. Like really, like you should be here, but you know, Heather is here and Justin gets sent home. On the strategy side, because I know you two are very good players. what do you think about this? Like, Heather getting the votes, Justin leaving instead of her. Like, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, as a strategic player, she should have gone out because she literally just showed that she is conniving, that she would go behind your back to do whatever she wants and get what she wants. She already has 2 cronies with her, which she already openly said, because she was like, "Oh, Beth and Lindsay, we took a vote together." So we'll know that she's got people under her wing. Like, she should have gone.
For me, Justin is someone who could be dangerous later. Like wild card players who you don't know where their heads stand. It's hard to play with them sometimes. And if he would have relied on his looks, people would get swindled, and it could have cost Heather her game later. So honestly, Heather did what needed to be done. Imagine if Heather would have left this episode. What more do we have? What mean stuff or crazy stuff do we have left? Like, who's going to step up? Who's going to become the new mean girl? So I felt like it was too early for Heather to go. So when it got down to Heather and Justin, I was like, all right, so we didn't seen enough of the pretty faces. Time for you to go, because Heather, I know she got some more episodes in her. Okay. Maybe not much, but I know she got some, because it's starting to rub people really wrong. And I think as soon as her mean girl group turn against her, I think that's the done, and I smell it coming.
Yeah.
Now, lastly, before the episode ends, after we see Justin leave, Gwen wants revenge, obviously, because, you wrote your diary in front of the entire world. That's kind of messed up. So she takes Harold's Red Ant Farm and dumps it on her while she sleeps. And yeah, she's going to be dealing with that next episode too. She's itching herself. But, so that's episode 5. So we can jump into episode 6 now. And this one is I believe this is Sucky Outdoors. This is the episode where the challenge is it's literally like a Survivor, honestly. Throw into the woods, camp for one night, and then make it back to the campsite before the other team in the morning. So we see the divisions, and he's telling everyone what the challenge is. Owen is claiming to be this survivor extraordinaire, saying how he used to kill bears with his grandfather and all this stuff. He's this huge survivalist. So I mean, that's his shtick. I'm sure we're going to talk about that more when it gets down to it. So the teams, obviously, they're traveling with their maps. Katie and Sadie easily get sidetracked, and they see, oh, look, there's blueberries. I love blueberries. They start eating those again. This is just like the poison ivy situation.
It's very parallel. They just kind of wander off.
What'd you think about that?
Yeah, it's definitely the testament to who they are as players. They're just kind of we're just kind of here for a good time and hang out with my best friend kind of thing, and got sidetracked by blueberries. It's just so random.
Yeah, I feel like it really, at first I was a little confused. I was like, okay, what is this about to give? Are they about to find this secret oasis where they're it's going to be the perfect night for their team, and they're going to find a secret oasis and their team is going to, sleep good. But, it turned out to them actually getting lost away from their team. So I don't know. I guess we also needed a little more character development from Sadie, Katie, because, they were very one note. And I feel like this episode was their trajectory.
Oh, for sure.
And I think you even said the first episode when we were doing the cast analysis, you were like, I need to see them be individual for a little bit. This is the episode they started fighting, and I mean, it was over non-important things and they were being petty, but yeah.
Still, I think it was another part of these 2 episodes that we had talked about, said in the very beginning, we're well, they're going to start fighting, or they're going to break up at some point, something's going to happen. So seeing them fight, I was like, ooh, it's going to happen. We'll see who wins, who's going to come out on top. So that was definitely interesting. I liked seeing that, a different side of them.
Yeah, and really fussing about petty stuff, and bringing up old stuff that you probably been had. You ever had that argument with a friend or someone, and it's you're arguing about stuff that, oh, you should have told me about years ago, and now you just bring it up, so it hurts even more. I feel that's what was going on, especially with Sadie talking about how Katie was talking about how she was prettier than Sadie, and it was just a big mess, but it needed to be done.
Yeah. So we see we fast forward a little bit because we're the teams are just traveling to their locations. We'll get back to Katie, Sadie in a second. But we see the teams finally get to their places, and honestly, if you compare the Killer Bass and the Gophers, honestly, I think that the Gophers, almost every episode, I mean, minus the last one, obviously, because Heather kind of threw that challenge. But if she didn't do that, almost every episode, the Gophers have almost seemed like the stronger team challenge-wise. Because the other one seems very dysfunctional. Like they try to be kumbaya, but it just doesn't work out that way. People don't respect Courtney. Some people respect Duncan more, even though he's a little bit immature. This one, I think there's a lot of people who just don't care and they just let Heather, like, boss people around. But even so, like, I think that there's the personalities mesh a lot better over here. And even like we see the food situation, like Owen catches fish, like he finds fish for the people, even though there was a gag in here where like there was a pizza guy and he gave it to the cameraman. I thought that was funny that they did all that. But
I was thinking like the pizza came, I was like, oh, like somebody like hacked this and like got a pizza out of them, and like no, it was not.
But what do you guys think about the dynamics? Go ahead, Lance. I'm sorry.
No, I was just kind of going to speak on the dynamics. I just find it also so funny that, it kind of made you start believing what Owen was saying, that like, oh, he does this with his dad all the time, da 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 da, and he found the fish, etc. So like, I was like, okay, Owen, you definitely have dimensions to yourself. But yeah, the dynamics is really weird on the team, and I just, I feel like people slowly but surely like starting to, say like where they stand, and it's starting to show like who could possibly be working with who in the long term.
Right.
All right. So, I mean, we get back to Katie, Sadie. We talked about it for the most part, but they're just being petty and they're arguing. One saying that I'm prettier than you. One saying you won't be on the show without me, and it's not going anywhere. But they're being petty. So we get to see the killer bass, and they're setting their tents up. Jeff actually makes an attempt to flirt with Bridget and says that, "Oh, you pitch a tent like a guy." And she's like, "Okay."
I love how he's in a conventional
We say, Lance?
No, I was just saying that's Jeff with a G.
That is essential. Jeff with a G.
Jeff with a G.
Like, and he felt so bad about it. He was like, okay, well, I guess that doesn't work for flirting. I mean, pitching the tent as in like you're strong or you're not a girly girl. Like,
okay.
So, both teams are kind of complaining about food. I mean, Owen gets his fish eventually, but the other team complained about food. No one's a wilderness explorer, unfortunately, over here. But DJ brings back a rabbit, and they're like, "All right, cool, like rabbit stew," and he's like, "Nah, this is my pet." Like Lance said, marshmallow muscles.
Yeah, like every episode, he just, we seeing softer side of DJ, and I'm okay with that. I'm here for it. It's just so sweet. Like you never don't expect that from him, and it's just like we get more and more depth of his sensitive side every episode. Next thing you know, he's gonna be like, I don't know.
He's like ribbon twirling, and he's got his little pet bunny, and then I love it.
So it's nighttime now, and like I said, there's not much to go into with Katie say. They're just arguing and they're getting lost. I mean, it is what it is there. The Gophers, they're cooking their food or whatever. Owen's telling this story about how he beat a 10-foot bear and all this stuff. He's telling his stories again. But they hear and see a bear. And Owen instantly freaks out. And Cody wets himself. They're all freaking out. They run into a tree. We'll get to the other team after we talk about this team. But basically, they're in a tree for most of the night. Lashana, she falls down from a branch. They think that she's about to get killed. It is just Izzy in a costume. I don't know where she got this bear costume, but
that's what I was wondering.
Like, going back really quick, I love the little animation like that, like they use for Owen's store with his grandpa. They're just like walking down the woods, and he's got the little like court gun, and like I thought it was super cute. Yeah, Izzy, where's that costume from? Like, what the heck? That was so random.
Did she like order it on Amazon Prime and like just arrived in time for her to tell the story? Like, like Jimmy John's, if I can't get there faster, you can't. Like, it was so freaking funny because like he just was telling a story, but now let me go find a bear costume and become a bear. Because I was kind of scared for her. I was like, it's enough they had the big black girl be the one to break the tree. And then you know, then Izzy come with this dang bear costume. I don't know. I just don't know.
It was so random. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like logistics here. Like maybe like the producers had it and were like, "Hey, yeah, that'd be kind of funny. Like, go ahead and go do it." Like maybe they egged her on into doing it.
I would see her doing that. I could see that happening actually.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of fan theories, and I mean after the season you guys should watch them. There's like, oh, the producers are tampering things, and oh, they're rigging stuff for certain people and all this stuff. So I mean you guys should watch it as well. I can see that. I've never heard that before, but I can see them doing something like that now that I'm looking back. So the other team, they're sleeping in. Well, real quick, I also want to say it's kind of odd that all these grown behind people are peeing themselves. Anyway,
16. Some people wet themselves until they're.
I hope not. That's the second person. What, Harold and Cody both peed themselves.
Yeah, already two separate people.
What if that's like the code for I'm making final two?
Oh, no.
I'm dead.
Harold in the final two. Harold, like, maybe I could see, but
I could deal with Harold, but Cody in the final two, like, ugh.
So, the other team, the Bass, they're sleeping in a very small tent, but they got them sleeping in that thing. And Bridge is like, "Oh, I gotta use the bathroom," and DJ's like, "Wait, I did too." She's like, "I don't want to leave the tent." He's like, "I don't either," and he has like this jar full of pee. I thought that was
so gross.
But she tries to go, and a bunch of bats hit her face and all this stuff, and she's losing her sight, and she accidentally falls and kicks this rock. Well, actually, I think it was two things. She kicks like some rocks from the campfire. One hits the tent and completely burns it down.
Yeah, it's like an ember.
Yeah. And it burns down the camp tent. So honestly, both of these teams are kind of like a mess right now. You got the one team that was in the tree, and then this one lost their shelter. But we go back to the other one, and they're eating, they're chilling, they actually have food. And an actual bear's there, and they think it's another stunt. Owen tries to rip it. He rips his head off. His hair off. I thought that was funny, but it was an actual bear this time. And then they go back into the tree. They lose all their food. It's ugly, but they have a bear there. The worst thing that could have been said was, "What's the worst thing? This like nothing worse can happen," and then this starts raining.
Yeah.
So. It's like this was a very Survivor-esque episode. Did you guys like this challenge?
I did.
I mean, I think for me it wasn't as enjoyable as some of the other stuff we've seen. I love seeing the survival aspect, but I would have loved to see survival aspect, but give me a challenge.
Yeah,
it wasn't really a challenge. It was just like, oh, let me throw in some stuff, get a little bit of character development, and blase da. Especially how the challenge ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, before it was daytime, this kind of translates into daytime. What we did see was Courtney and Duncan are arguing a lot this episode. But she gets scared. She runs into his arms. Then they wake up the next morning and she's cuddling him. So we're starting to see something there too. What y'all opinions on that?
It's like a hate mance going on. It's like
it's one of those relationships. You ever was in like middle school and someone who really has a crush on you, or it's like the meanest person to you.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's so like. Yeah. You always see that if you haven't gone through it, your friend has. Like you've seen it. Like it's not like it doesn't happen.
Are you guys pro if it happens? Duncan Courtney,
anything that Courtney does. So I should.
Okay. The goody two shoes with the juvie person.
I like it though because I feel like they could be a very strategic powerhouse. Like I think they could really run the game if they get their crap together.
Especially they could get really close with like Gwen and Trent.
Yes.
And they could come back, freaking Heather and her Mean Girl crew.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, baby. Give it to me.
All right. So it's morning time, and like the rules are, they have to rush back. But beforehand, we get another little scene with Katie and Sadie. They were bickering and fighting the night before, saying that they're not going to be friends. Whatever. Okay, whatever. They it's funny. They were sleeping in the cave that the bear was from, and the bear shows up, scares him away, but like his patch of hair like falls off. So I thought that was
Poor bear. He was so cute.
funny. So they're racing back, and basically the Bass looked like they were about to win, and because they get there before the Gophers, but Katie and Sadie weren't there, so their losing streak is back.
Yeah.
They low key they should have lost the last like 2 challenges, but Harold bailed them out. But Harold couldn't bail them out this time, and they lost. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Katie, Sadie try to be friends again, and everyone, so they're all happy, but no one else is like there for their like, nah, you made us lose. So we get a little scene of the winning team. They're just like having a party, whatever. Nothing important really happens here. But we go into the camp ceremony, and it's straightforward. We knew one of these two were leaving. Katie gets eliminated. What are your thoughts on Katie getting eliminated and finally her and Sadie separating? What's up?
I'm excited to see what's going to happen now. Like, I want to see if Sadie's going to like develop further.
Yeah, like for me, I felt like this is the first time where someone who actually cost the team the challenge is going home. So it kind of sucks that it had to be them. Like everyone else, like Heather, she fought her way through it. Other people wasn't really like the reason that they didn't lose the challenge. They got voted off because the people hated them. But this time, I guess the team is thinking like, hey, we don't want to fall back on that losing streak, so we need to get rid of the fluff. And honestly, I'm surprised they got rid of Katie instead of Sadie, because if you would think like strength wise, but Sadie gives me more personality than Katie. So I'm excited to see where it goes, especially knowing that in the draft, I picked Sadie instead of Katie. I was like, and our thought process was like, which one will be the one that will branch out or last if anything gets broken up. And I'm excited to see where Sadie will go now that Katie's gone. She better bring that personality, Allie. I need personality for real.
All right. And the last thing we did see in this episode was another little bit with Courtney and Duncan. Basically them talking to him, like scaring her with the hook or whatever, But another Courtney Duncan little shot there. So I mean, it seems like they're trying to lead something.
For sure.
But that's the episodes. I like 5. I don't mind 5. 6 is a little not the most memorable one. 6 is kind of boring. But there you go. So lastly, we are going to update our tier list and our draft.
Yay.
Let me see. Okay. So
before we take them up, before you move them, let me see.
I saved it this time. So what happened, Noah, Eva, and Zeke are gone. So the first episode we lost Justin. You guys had Justin C tier. Okay. He will now be eliminated. Yes. And you guys had Katie D tier. Another good call. So far you guys had 4 D tiers correctly and 1 C. So you guys are on a good path.
Yay.
We're getting this fodder out, So I mean, if you guys are right, I mean, we're gonna see how you guys rank everybody. So let's start from the top. Owen, are we keeping him S? Are we like top of S, bottom S? What's going on, Owen?
I feel like he's staying really consistent. I feel like
staying very consistent. I really like Owen. I think he's still considered superior for me. That might change if he's number 1 superior or not, based on as we talk about more people.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe not number 1 superior. I think there's a couple of people who could be above him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next is Heather. Heather, I mean, she is a lot more dominating, and she's still a good player, but she didn't do herself any favors in episode 5. No. But episode 6, I mean, she didn't really get herself in too much trouble. But I mean, you can see that her and Gwen are like, they're not on the same page.
No.
What are we keeping Heather superior? Are we dropping her? Are we putting her above Owen?
I just feel she lost a lot of stock. Superior is like someone we think could win the game. I'm
Right.
scared that Heather, she's great personality, but winner is not giving that anymore for me.
Yeah, she kind of screwed it up, I feel like, these last few episodes. But I still think she should be higher up.
Mm-hmm.
Like somewhere between SAB. Sab. I just realized that. Yeah, somewhere between the S, A, and B, I think, for sure. But I don't know.
Let me find out that's just an innuendo of who's winning this draft.
So, all right, here. Oh, God. Look, that's actually crazy. So, all right, here's how we do this. Do you guys think that she's better chances than Harold right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think she has better chances than Lindsay?
Yeah.
How about Duncan? You guys are hesitating on Duncan.
That's really hard because I feel like Duncan is going to sneak in. Like, I feel like he's kind of behind the scenes.
Even Lindsay, I think, is going higher, so it's hard to even say now. So, for right now, let's put her beginning B.
Okay.
Might change as we discuss.
Yeah.
All right. Courtney. So episode 5, I mean, she didn't get to participate. Not her fault, though. I mean, I think people had sympathy for her. Episode 6, she's kind of like in the same exact position, but you're starting to see her and Duncan are like doing something. Like, it's weird.
Right.
What do you think about Courtney? Is she staying where she's at?
Maybe like at the end of A,
Mm-hmm.
because she that first episode, nothing was really going on there. But I noticed that for episode 6, whenever Chris was tossing the maps, like he tossed it to Duncan, but Duncan gave it to Courtney as if like they expected her to be team captain.
You're the leader, yeah.
Yeah, so people still think of her as a leader.
Okay.
And they could bite her in the butt in the future, but she's still up there.
Yeah.
So she's behind Duncan.
For now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Gwen. So I think she gained a lot of sympathy from people episode 5 when Heather did the thing. I think a lot of people like Gwen, but she doesn't like a lot of people. So I mean, you gotta reach out. But both episodes she actually acted the same. But I mean, I think a lot of people have sympathy for her, which is never bad. I think enough people are interested and want to work with her. It's just she's only really talking to Trent. So I mean, what do you guys think about Gwen?
I personally just grow to love Gwen every episode. Sab saw it like in the beginning, like she's grown on me. To me, she's a superior player for me. What are your thoughts, Sab?
No, I'm cool with that. I was gonna say either superior or keep her that first A.
Yeah. Do you think we need to give her one more week to get to superior, or?
Kind of, only because I feel like this round it was more so like emotional kind of stuff, not so much like strategic kind of stuff yet. Okay. But I feel like it's brewing, especially with the whole rivalry with Heather, and I feel like she will do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it coming, but yeah, maybe not quite yet.
All right. Duncan, he didn't do bad, honestly. Like, I mean, he didn't participate. Nothing really happened with him the first one, and then the second episode, I mean, he scared people, but I think enough people like him. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but when Courtney ran into his arms when they heard wolf noises or whatever, Jeff like thumbs him up or something.
Yeah, Jeff was
like, I think like enough people don't like, they're fond of Duncan a little bit. What do you guys think of Duncan?
I feel indifferent.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that same way. Like I feel like he wasn't. I mean, nothing happened in episode 5. Like he wasn't even really present. I don't know if
he's like quality of A though. That's the thing. Like I'm so indifferent where I'm like, is he our big drop for the week or what?
Yeah, I'm actually okay with dropping him because I feel like he didn't really. Because I mean, he definitely gave a lot from this episode 6 with the whole stuff with Courtney. That was great, but
yeah,
still not a bunch of no really moves have been made quite yet.
So right now, can we just put him at the end of B?
Yeah, I like that actually. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to B tier. Heather and Duncan are new here. Lindsay, she is continuing her thing of being Heather's like sidekick. But she is, like you guys said, is being a little bit more rebellious. She obviously has a showmance with Tyler now. It's like out there. What are your thoughts on Lindsay? I mean, she's also willing to do crazy things like what she did for Heather, like stakeouts and spying on her. So what do you guys think of Lindsay?
Well, she didn't get caught necessarily.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, and I feel like with the whole like Mean Girls thing that she's the one that's gonna make it through over Heather. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Lindsay definitely is bringing it. I think either ahead of Heather or either stay where she's at. I don't think she deserves to drop.
No, I don't think she should drop either. I think I liked her these past couple episodes.
So are we putting her above Heather, or are we keeping her?
I think she has the potential to beat Heather, like we just said. Yeah. Maybe above Heather?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Lindsay above Heather.
And she stays in the category.
Mm-hmm. Next is Harold. Harold didn't really do much episode 6, but 5, it was a back-to-back challenge. He bailed his team out. What are your thoughts on Harold right now?
I actually like him exactly where he is.
Looks like you disagree.
If not exactly where he is, maybe above Heather. I feel like he's also, so either we could come to a medium and just keep him there for now, but I think he's definitely rising in the ranks.
For sure.
Because Heather, Heather's definitely skating on thin ice a little bit.
Yes.
All right. So keep him where he's at?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay. Next is Lashana. Another 2 quiet episodes from Lashana.
We're gonna drop her to D.
Yeah, we're gonna
Sorry.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, we'll just put her at the top of D until we go through some of those D people, but she's literally like, besides falling off a tree, she didn't do nothing. She didn't even try to volunteer to booty shake or nothing for the talent. Like, I expect more from you, girl.
Nothing.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Tyler, honestly, his thing is just making out with Lindsay.
Yeah, and the yo-yo, which was terrible. So
I think drop. Like, I think he as well. And then needs to be after Lashana, yeah.
Okay. Beth, 2 quiet episodes as well. I mean, she
had a little fire throwing moment, like like a middle player, and she still has. She knows she's going to be in for the long haul, not long haul, but for right now because of her alliance.
I was going to say her alliance is going to carry her.
Yeah, so I think she's good where she's at for now. If you think different, Sal.
No, that's good.
All right, Trent is focusing a lot on like flirting with Gwen, but I mean his presence is a lot more out there than it was at the beginning. Thoughts on Trent?
I think Trent's giving more than Duncan. What do you think? Is Duncan a little more? No, because Duncan had last episode that moment of like kind of being the boss a little. I don't know.
I feel like Trent's above Beth.
Yeah, but stay in C, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
And lastly, the D tiers. Izzy got a lot more speaking time. These episodes, like she had her dance the first one, and then the second one. Honestly, if their team lost, I think she would have been voted out.
Probably. But I like her. She's funny. I don't know. Like she's crazy, but like I like it. Like.
Yeah, I think she needs to go above Lashana if we keep her in D, and if we do move her up to C, honestly, even before Beth a little bit. I don't know. What you think?
I just liked her presence a lot these last 2 episodes because we got to see a lot more of her, and it was fun. Like she was cool, but like I know that like Heather said multiple times, like, "Oh, where's the crazy girl?" Like, "Oh, she's crazy." So like she's definitely an eye on her. So that's maybe in trouble for Izzy, but definitely think she should be top. If she's gonna stay D, definitely top. I don't know, but I liked her better than Beth.
Yeah, I think she needs to go above Beth.
Okay.
Yeah, that feels good.
Moves to middle tier.
But not thinking about it, I'm like, does Beth fall down? But no, she got a good. Her line's gonna keep her. Yeah, she's good.
So if she doesn't do anything next round, are you considering dropping her?
Yeah, she's on thin ice. She's on thin ice.
I think this round of tier ranking, like it seems like you guys are on the place where like I want to raise or I want to drop people, but like I need to see like 2 more episodes to like yeah. So I mean it's interesting. Okay. DJ Muscle Marshmallow Muscle.
He's honestly not rubbing people the wrong way. So that's a plus for him.
I think a lot of people like him too. I mean
yeah. So and we also getting personality every round. We're getting learning more about him. Yep. I think he might need to move to C because we kept him in. He's been in D a lot for us. Maybe we need to give him a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
But where do you think, Stab?
I would say I don't know. See, Beth right now is not doing it for me. So like
I would. She's really not. I'm so close to moving her down. I swear. Put him above Beth. Okay. By the time we done keep thinking, she might move down.
I think the Heather and Lindsay thing is like keeping you guys from like.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Her line's gonna carry her through like to like a good part of the game. Like that's why she's so like a little bit up there. She has a connection.
So Sadie lost her best friend, but she is now a solo player. So this is really like a shot in the dark for you guys because you guys don't know how she's going to be as a solo player.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be her groundbreaking next 2 rounds, possibly. Yeah. Either it's gonna be a hit or miss, but groundbreaking as in personality, storyline, and it's scary to move her up, but she's either gonna do really good or really, really bad.
Yes, that's why I kind of want to keep her where we have her because like we just don't know yet what she's.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't know.
All right.
Tyler, we didn't talk about Tyler, right?
No, we moved him down from C.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why do you want to put Sadie in front of him or no?
I don't know. He just don't do it for me, but Bridget, let's go.
All right, so Bridget, a lot more out there than she was beforehand. She did bad during the challenge, obviously, but I think yeah, like I think a lot of people like her. And you know, she stepped up, she tried to fill in. Even the episode after, I mean, you see her, Jeff, or at least Jeff is trying something with her there. I mean, I don't think it's reciprocated, but you know, Bridget, I mean, you know, she's stepping up now. She's more of a presence. Thoughts on Bridget?
Maybe before Lashana if we don't move her up. I think she's done bad, but people aren't like looking at her as a threat. The only one that really don't like is Heather based on that, like, you know, they little small rivalry or like, oh, go get your surfboard, girl,
Yeah.
So, all right. You said behind Lashana? Or what you say, Sab?
No, so I agree with that. We could put her before Lashana.
Okay.
Before.
Oh, before. Sorry, I'm tripping. There you go. 2 more people. You got Jeff. Jeff, sort of, you know, he's sort of moving. I mean, he's trying to talk. Yeah, like I mean, like it's you know, I mean,
he's doing more than him. We've been giving Cody a hard shot.
Honestly, Jeff, our bottom 2 is our bottom 2.
Definitely our bottom 2.
so leave Jeff and Cody exactly where they're at.
Yep. Or either put Jeff last. Jeff, I don't know.
Oh.
Jeff, no, we'll leave it one more week how it is.
All right. But if he doesn't do any improvements, then Jeff is dropping under Cody.
Yeah, because at least Cody peed his pants. At least Cody is like infatuated with Gwen.
Yeah.
Like Cody's giving us. Jeff is just like, oh, I like this girl, boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll leave it.
All right. And then I'm assuming you still like Chef over Chris.
Yes. I love you.
All right. Based off of this, because I know you guys did this together, I'll ask these questions real quick. So, top 3 people with the highest winner chances, individually between the 2 of you.
Winner chances. Okay, I think Gwen. I kind of want to say Duncan. I feel like he's got a good chance, and then Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my 3.
Yeah, mine is going to be Owen, Courtney, and Harold. I see Harold continuing on his arc towards showcasing that he belongs. And if it's like Survivor, eventually there'll be individuals, and if you never know, he might just slay.
Yeah.
All right. And lastly, top 3 favorites individually. 3 of your favorite characters.
Favorite character.
For sure, Owen, Gwen, and then this is hard. I can't pick Chef. I can't.
You can.
I just love how like every episode he has something to do with it. Like it's always
It
random.
doesn't really have nothing to do with it, right?
Yeah, it's hilarious to me. I don't know why. I'm like obsessed with it.
All right.
Owen, Gwen, and then man, it's hard. I like. I'll say either Izzy or DJ. Maybe I think DJ. I don't know. I just like his little soft side. It's awesome.
Yeah, for me, Owen, personality boot. Heather, strategic queen, bring the mess. And this round, DJ. DJ is just giving me so much. So like, not good winner potential, but he's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like pinches cheeks, like.
Yeah, that's how in his little picture right here, he's holding the bunny.
Yeah. Innuendos.
And lastly, let's update the draft. Like we said,
we both lost one.
So you guys lost Katie.
Yeah.
You lost later. And Justin was my second to last pick. Okay.
All right. I mean, what, Sab's up by like 1?
Yeah.
We're right. She got so many.
4, 6, 8.
She got 9. I only got 7.
Ooh, up by 2.
I lost 2 last round. Remember, I lost Eva and
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I need a week that Sab loses 2 people, and then I need another week to lose 2 more, and then another week where she loses 2 more. So I can be up.
Judging by y'all tier list, I mean, you guys are both getting out a lot of the D tier. So I mean, you're doing something right.
We have definitely been right on our tiers. So so we need to keep that streak going. But I know the gag gonna happen eventually where we're gonna lose.
So it's gonna happen.
It's a blind side. It's gonna be a blind side for us too, and I can't wait. I honestly am ready for a blind side. But I hope it's one of my people that I like hold dear to my heart because I feel like I like so many people in this cast.
All right. Now, before we close out, thoughts. What are you guys looking for to happen within episode 7 and 8? What do you guys want? What are you expecting? What's your ideas?
I feel like blindsides maybe aren't going to happen until like merge kind of situation. Like that's when it's really going to happen. Because I think now, like, especially with this last episode, they were focusing on getting people out who just like blew the challenge for them. So I think they're thinking more like, teamwork, kind of more strategically that way. So I think once it gets individual, it's going to be like all hell breaks loose. And so I'm excited for that, like when that starts happening.
Yeah, for me, it's continuing character development. I'm ready to see Sadie step out. And like I mentioned, it's going to be her make or break 2 episodes, either in a good way or a bad way. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to see some other people step up and be front runners. Because right now I feel like this is week number 3 going into week 4. And we had the same people kind of as the front runners. And I'm ready for someone to like just spike our engine and be like, oh yeah, that person, that's our person.
Yeah.
Like it seems like the only person for your guys' list that's actually been making any sort of increases like Harold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he started week 1 like bottom D, like low D.
Yeah.
Look at him now.
I know, he's doing so good.
That's what I want. I want Cody to like shock us one weekend. He get a blind side, and we'd be like, "Oh, we're about to eat our words," because we just picked him immediately, and I expected him to go before some of these other people.
He hasn't moved at all. So, all right. So I mean, that's episode 5 and 6. This is week 3 of the Total Drama podcast. So having a lot of fun doing this. We might experiment with doing this live, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show. So Lance, you're on a new podcast now. You want to talk about it?
All right, yeah, you guys. You can find me on Twitter at I am King Lance. Also, be on the lookout. We dropped our first episode, which was a cast analysis of Black Boys Watch. You can follow us on Twitter at Black Boys Watch. our podcast. We're going to be covering many different reality shows, but our inaugural show that we're going to be covering is Big Brother Can, and it's exciting. I have some of my favorite people in the whole wide world, some of my close friends that I met in this community, Charles, Josh Williams, Joshua Calhoun, and Derek. We have a weird energy because we all don't agree on certain aspects of reality TV or some people's characters and people we root for, but it's going to be good. You're going to see all different facets. So make sure y'all stay tuned and look out for Black Boys Watch. And like I mentioned, you can follow me on I Am King Lance on Instagram and Twitter. So so much coming for me.
All right. Sabrina, how about you?
So you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sabrizi2492 right here. Let's see what I don't know if I've got anything going on. Well, I guess early, be on the lookout for Penthouse season 4.
Yes.
We are wrapping up casting at the moment, so it should be an amazing season with an amazing cast. I cannot wait. So be on the lookout. It should be coming the next few months. Get excited. We are very excited to show you guys.
Yes,
we support Penthouse around here. Watch Penthouse. And then lastly, like usual, you can follow me at 8 Ball Bangers on all socials with the number 8 and then Ball Bangers. And if you're listening to this elsewhere, like Spotify, if we have this up by now, on their YouTube channel is Silent Podcast. On Twitter, we actually opened our interest form finally. We got a lot of submissions, a lot more than I was expecting. So we're going to close it this Friday. But get your submissions in. We're actually interviewing people this week. We're trying, literally, if you got a show that you like, animated, scripted, reality, any of that, submit if you're interested in podcasting, and we'll try to figure something out. We'll see. But for this week, Wednesday, we're going to be back with Abby, Sasha, and Geneva to talk about Temptation Island. Friday, if the episode isn't boring like last week, we're going to try to get back with Sasha and Abby to talk Floor Bama Shore. Anime podcast also this week. I believe I forgot to say on Thursday with Noah and Josh, we're going to be talking about Naruto this week. So that should be fun as well. And possibly we might start one of the other rewatches. Possibly I Love Money. We're not sure yet, but we'll see. But you keep a lookout for all that. Follow on all socials. And until next Monday, this is the Total Drama Rewatch. Have a good day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.